and welcome to a new edition of Our Show Money Means Business. As we always say, business means money, stability, and a lot more. And of course, security, stability mean a lot of business and mean a lot of money. But then we've been witnessing the last 2 years up till now, and we don't know how long it will go on. The COVID-19 pandemic that affected all economies of the world, and definitely tourism and the passage of people from one country to another. And then we do have a new variant that started recently, yesterday and the day before, that these things are scary for people. And then there is again closing of countries. There is a big scare again. There are stricter rules to move with masks and to go to other countries or just do the tests to make sure that the comers or travelers do not have that pandemic or that new variant, and so on and so forth. The scare is there, and definitely it will affect our economies as the COVID-19 definitely affected it. We don't know what's going to happen next, but here we are. We are just talking a lot about definitely life is not going to stop and things are happening. And we've been celebrating in Egypt the inauguration of the passage of the Ram, or the Ram Avenue, and a glorious festival and celebration that took place a couple of days ago that the whole world watched, and were at awe at this great celebration. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Thursday inaugurated the 3,000-year-old Sphinx's Avenue, or the Avenue of the Rams, in its spectacular grand opening ceremony in Luxor. The Avenue of the Sphinxes is a 3,000-year-old wallway. It is an extension of the Karnak Temple in Luxor. The complex there connects Luxor Temple 3 kilometers down the Nile eastern shore. The avenue is 2,700 meters long, and it's also about 7 meters wide, flanked by 1,200 ram-headed and traditional sphinxes. The ceremony acknowledges the ancient Egyptian Opet festival, which was as Thebes during New Kingdom of 1550 to 1069 before Christ. And that was an important event, definitely. Also, there is another event that we're going to be talking about, and that's the COMESA chairmanship that came to Egypt, or rather came back to Egypt after almost 20 years when Egypt went back to Africa. So we're going for a short break, after which we'll be back and we'll start our own talk. Stay tuned to us, don't go away.
The world stopped for hours, watching in amazement the legendary Road of Rams ceremony, which Egypt organized with the utmost ingenuity and proved that the Egyptians are an extension of their ancestors, the great pharaohs, the owners of a civilization of 7,000 years. Egypt is where it all began. Egypt, which taught the world how to establish a state and establish a strong army. Egypt, which taught the world building and construction, architecture, and the arts. Egypt, which taught the world medicine, science, burial, and mummification. Egypt, which taught the world agriculture, production, and industry. Egypt, that is on my mind and in the minds of every Egyptian. Its greatness is once again evident in the hearts, reminding us of our ancient civilization and reminding us of who we were and who we are now. We are the extension of the ancient Egyptian ancestors. We are able to continue our civilization with pride and advancement. Our civilization, which on a historic day, witnessed by the whole world, restored our confidence in ourselves and that we can overcome any difficulties and continue to build. The state of pride that every Egyptian felt today needed social media, and the Egyptians came out in a state of awakening and pride, expressing their pride in their Egyptianness and their praise of the sophistication with which the Ram's Path celebration came out. This was not just a passing scene, but rather a scene that created a state of gratitude and a desire for sophistication to replace ugliness and lowly songs. The Egyptians' praise of parades, music, and singing in the ancient Egyptian dialect is a sign of the taste of this people and their desire for the solitude of musical melodies and their taste for quality and the good organization that made every Egyptian proud and feel that this is what he seeks and desires. Yes, the citizen desires efficiency and order in everything. Today, we were proudly watching the ceremony, and I am confident that each of us says to himself that this is me. I am Egyptian, I am history. I am the Egyptian person who taught the world professionalism in directing any work and accuracy in accomplishing any task. The ceremony of the Path of Rams resurrected the spirit in our bodies, which may have forgotten that we are the pharaohs who are able to succeed and export this brilliant success to the world to know who we are. An important message that Egypt is sending today to the world is that whatever Egypt does, it will do it to the fullest. Egypt is the dawn of conscience.
كتير من الناس بعد ما تقضي حياتها كلها في ضغوط عمل وحسابات وتعقيدات وتعاملات إنسانية قد تكون صعبة بيبحثوا دايما على العيشة في مكان هادئ آمن مع ناس طيبة بسيطة محبة للحياة وسط حضارة ثرية وسط طبيعة خلابة وسط شمس زي اللي احنا موجودين فيها في الشتاء بعيد عن الجو البرد القارس في دول أخرى. ربنا ادانا نعمة كبيرة قوي، ادانا شواطئ، ادانا شمس، ادانا جو حلو، ادانا ناس طيبة، واجدادنا سابوا لنا حضارة تميزنا عن اي دولة تانية في العالم. بلدنا جميلة جدا، بلدنا آمنة جدا، بلدنا فيها كل حاجة، واهم حاجة المصريين الطيبين اللي فاتحين دراعتهم لكل ضيوفنا من كل دول العالم.
We're back again to My News Business, and following the grandeur celebration of the Avenue of the Rams, that was watched by everybody all over the world actually, and the presence of 150 journalists or journalistic associations there. Well, we do have with us online Dr. Hussein Abdessabour. Dr. Hussein, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. Sir, we've watched definitely, of course, and you're part of the whole, the great celebration. What is the effect worldwide and on tourism?
This is one of the most important events that we have done so far in the recent times. As you know, we did the transfer of the mummies from the Egyptian Museum in Cairo to the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization, NEMEC, and this is the second one. And also we are preparing for the third one and the most biggest one, which will be the Grand Egyptian Museum opening ceremony. So this very, very wonderful event, and I think everybody all over the world has watched it, and everybody is affected, and I think it will increase the volume of tourism to Egypt in the beginning of this season, and we're still at the beginning of the winter season. So I think this would be, this is actually a good and a great and strong opening for the new ceremony of tourism in Egypt.
Definitely. Well, let's pray, for the new variant of the COVID-19 not to last long and stop passengers from one country to the other. That would be definitely affecting, again, tourism.
Yes, for sure. I will try to do these events one after the other. Other one we did back in April, and this one in November, and we have one soonish. Also, we have also the the Greek-Roman Museum celebration and the opening of the Palace of Muhammad Ali Pasha in Shubra al-Khayma. So we have many events, and we try to do one after the other, just in a series, just to get tourism back to Egypt, especially after the revolution of 2011, January 25th, and also as a COVID-19 issue. So I think we are moving in the right direction, and hopefully tourism will be back to Egypt more than before. And really, I was in Luxor recently, and if you go there, you will not find not a room, not a single bed empty. So Luxor is 100% full now, and this is a great movement for tourism in Egypt and also in Luxor.
Well, we do have also a very great celebration that is about to happen with the inauguration of the GEM, the Grand Egyptian Museum. We're all expecting, of course, all the whole world's eyes are on that, expecting a lot out of it.
Yes, we will do like almost a 10 days celebration, and we have also a new opera which is composed by Italian composer Lino Zamboni, and also writer is Francesco Santacono, and the Egyptologist Dr. Zahi Hawass. So it's a wonderful one. It will, I think, be better than Aida, the most famous one, which we did since the time of Khatib Ismail. So the new one will be on Tutankhamun. And Tutankhamun is a hero in the Grand Egyptian Museum. As you know, we have transferred so many artifacts from the Egyptian Museum in Cairo to the new museum. And this museum, I mean the Grand Egyptian Museum, I call it the new home for Tutankhamun. And Tutankhamun is the hero. We have almost more than 5,000 pieces from his tomb transferred to the new museum, and the Tutankhamun will be there displayed in almost 7 times the space which we have in Cairo Museum. So it will be displayed in 7,500 meters. In Cairo Museum, the collection itself is displayed in 1,500. So this will be a magnificent movement in our life. And as you know, the Grand Egyptian Museum is a new version of the Tahrir Square Museum, or the Egyptian Museum in Tahrir Square, and this is the new version of this museum in the 21st century. And really we use the recent technology in museology, and the display there will be more than great. And when you go there, you can find everything, so the whole family can spend the whole day enjoying staying in this museum, watching artifacts, eating, dining, everything can be done in this place. And also the metro, the underground will pass by this Grand Egyptian Museum, and this will be also a very important transportation method to be used from the airport, Cairo airport, to Giza, to the Grand Egyptian Museum. And also we link Giza Pyramids area with the Grand Egyptian Museum, and everybody can go back and forth between the two areas. So this is something never done before. And to be honest with you, this is because of the interest of the President Fattah al-Sisi, which really he is pushing these projects to the end and to get Egypt back, because he knows that the force of tourism and of Egypt monuments. And really this is a very smart idea from His Excellency President Fattah al-Sisi.
Yes, Dr. Hussam, so thank you very much for being with us. And with tonight's work, and that we're going to be talking about is the COMESA. Well, what's the COMESA? What's happening? And Egypt's chairmanship, of course, for the second time is back to Egypt again. What we intend to do with it, this is what we're going to be all clarifying with our guest, Dr. Nabil Maula. And hello, sir, welcome.
My pleasure for you and your
You're
audience.
a project and management expert.
Right.
And of course a lot more, that, with the COMESA, of course, involved with all that. And this is what we're going to be talking about. We'll go for a short break, after which we'll be returning back. Stay tuned to us. Don't go away. We're back again to Money Means Business with our guest, Dr. Nabil Abdelmoula. Well, there is a lot to talk about, sir. You know, we were talking about the COMESA, and of course, it was held here, and the chairmanship was given to Egypt for the second time after a long time, almost 20 years. So before delving into anything and knowing the intricacies, maybe some people don't really know how many people are, how many countries are a member in the COMESA. What's the COMESA about? When was it? When it started? Was established or founded, and so on and so forth. And the role of Egypt, the coming plan, you know, from also President Sisi's speech, and we're expecting a lot, and a lot is going to be happening. There are no jokes anymore, a lot of work, and a lot of aspirations, of course, related to that.
That's right. Actually, let me say again that this is a challenging period again, a challenging leadership skills for Egypt and the President El-Sisi. After such long time from 2001, from 2001,
Yeah.
and now is 2021, we are getting back. He's taking over the presidency of the COMESA again, while we are experiencing hard times in pandemic, which is called COVID-19, with the mutant, with the new mutant, which they have found out in South Africa and so on. But let's start with what COMESA is.
Yeah.
COMESA is a pillar of a grouping of countries, which is called Common Market Agreement for the Eastern and Southern countries of Africa.
Yeah.
It's a gathering. This gathering is a main pillar of the African Economic Community, adopted in 1991 in the Abuja Summit, and according to the Egyptian information is according to the Egyptian Information Authority. They have established the assembly aimed at eliminating all trade restrictions among the members of the COMESA members themselves. Assembly of Preparation, Free Trade, and establishing all such economic in preparation for the establishment of economic unit of the region, which serves at the goal of African unity. Such pillar is aiming for the unity of African countries, which served the goal of African unity, and was established COMESA in December 1994, and was they started, or they preferred to have a preferential trade area. It began in 1981 at the Zambian capital, which is called Lusaka, hosts the headquarters of the COMESA Secretariat. The COMESA unity, or COMESA pillar, features a pool of COMESA, its membership, and the number of countries in the membership is 21 countries,
yes.
actually. They are consist of Democratic Congo, Comoros, Burundi, Eritrea, Egypt, Djibouti, Kenya, Ethiopia, Eswatini, Swaziland, Malawi, Madagascar, Libya, Seychelles, Rwanda, Mauritius, Tunisia, Sudan, Somalia, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Uganda. This is according to the actual website of the COMESA.
Definitely, definitely. Let me say that, you know, like this COMESA meeting announced, the summit actually announced that it's like the building resilience through strategic digital economic integration. That was the theme of this summit.
Yeah.
And there is a lot, the plan actually of President Sisi on Egypt, you know, was revealed. But then why is it so important that Egypt got back the chairmanship? What's so important about it?
Let's before we go into this, the answer of that question, let's say the following. Let's confirm that the GDP of the COMESA countries is almost 580 billion, $805 billion.
Yes.
This is the GDP, which is awesome. and still we can double that. The population of the COMESA members are almost 583 million people.
Yeah.
The trade between the COMESA members and the whole world is almost $324 billion, which is huge, of course. A major market for the domestic and foreign trade, according to the website, it says geographically, COMESA member states reach nearly 2/3 of the African continent with an area of 12 million square kilometers. That would lead us to the answer of your question, which is among the COMESA members, you can find a lot of different weather, raw material, natural resources, logistics, health, a lot of access. When we come to talk about that and about the challenge, the real challenge, which is the chairman of the COMESA from 2021 to 2025,
Yes.
with His Excellency President El-Sisi,
Yeah.
we will find out together. We will explore together the axis which experience a real challenge for integrating and unifying the whole African countries.
Okay, so let's put it this way. Why is it that important that Egypt again now got the chairmanship of the COMESA?
Yep.
And the challenges that are faced in that, and definitely we'd like also to talk about the plans, the futuristic vision of Egypt concerning the COMESA and definitely Africa, since there is a lot of integration, a lot of work actually, and this is a very big market actually also. So how are things?
The challenges which has been in the past so far are mostly the challenges which the leadership of the COMESA, which has been taken over by President El-Sisi from 2021 to 2025, will be working on. The challenges has been to, during the establishment of the COMESA itself, we found a number of countries which are not giving the full exemption of taxes, for example.
Yeah.
And other countries are forbidding the goods from other countries to go through their countries.
Okay.
Health issues, logistics, transportation, all such issues, those are the real challenges which the COMESA countries in the last period till 2021 were facing together. So the real challenge for the new presidency, and I hope and I'm quite sure that a lot will be done during this period from Egypt presidency for that pillar, is overcoming all such problems or trying to overcome most of the problems and having the base for solving all such issues.
Which is this is a very big task actually.
Very, very challenging.
Yes.
Very challenging task.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes, definitely,
Right.
definitely. Also, the COMESA, which is very important. We do have a lot of exchange and a lot of work with them. Like Egypt is one of the key economic forces in the COMESA, having a biggest share of the intra-COMESA trade in 2020 with a total of $27 billion US. The COMESA is also a promising market for the Egyptian products and exports, definitely, which amount for 20% of the exports within the bloc, worth $2 billion with imports from COMESA. And the imports, amounting to 700 million, but then we export a lot, which is really that great. What do we export and what are we importing, for example, from the different countries that COMESA?
We are exporting a lot of products like plastics, salt, sulfur,
Yeah.
lime,
Yeah.
cement, ceramic products, electrical machinery and appliances mill products, mill products, paper, sugar, soap, essential oils, perfumes, positive outlook for COMESA growth after Corona. Egypt is looking forward very much to start on the country basis for increasing the growth of the exports to Africa in such previously mentioned products, in addition to other new products like construction, new projects, new joint projects like Victoria Lake jointly between in Africa.
Yeah.
Those are the real export products so far Egypt has been done to Africa, to COMESA country.
Definitely. And we're going for a short break, after which we'll be coming back and we'll resume our talk after the break. Stay tuned to us, don't go away.
The new administrative capital witnessed the activities of the Common Market for Eastern and Southern African Country COMESA Summit, which was held in Egypt for the first time in 20 years in the presence and participation of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and a number of leaders of other countries. President el-Sisi gave a speech in which he said that the global and regional economy has witnessed many developments since the last COMESA summit was held in July 2018 in the Zambian capital, Lusaka, when the Continental Free Trade Area entered into force in January 2021. Proceeding from these challenges, Egypt has developed its vision with the aim of deepening business integration among the countries of the region to accelerate the pace of economic recovery from the corona pandemic. On the sidelines of the summit, Tunisian President Kais Saied said via video conference technology that African countries are united by common goals and dreams, expressing his country's pride to participate in the 21st summit of the COMESA conference, noting that it is Tunisia's first participation as a member of that organization with noble goals prepared by President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. President el-Sisi affirmed Tunisia's keenness to consolidate the principles of African integration and enhance cooperation. In terms of reactions to the success of the COMESA summit, the Secretary General of the COMESA organization addressed to President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi for his support and empowerment for the convening of the 21st summit, noting that the statistics received by COMESA indicate that Egypt is one of the leading countries in terms of economic performance in the region. During her speech, she added that the corona pandemic affected all aspects of economic activity, noting that statistics recorded a decline of 0.6% in all economies. On the economic level of the summit, bankers confirmed that Egypt's presidency of the Common Market for Eastern and Southern African Country COMESA enhances the presence of Egyptian exports in these large markets by inaugurating representative offices or bank branches, especially in the Nile Basin countries, with the aim of promoting trade exchange between Egypt and African countries to serve mutual common interests. Yahya Abu al-Futuh, Vice President of the National Bank, said that the bank has been present for a long time in several African countries, such as Sudan and Ethiopia, as well as representative office in Johannesburg, South Africa. In this context, Dr. Muhammad Yunus, Professor of Economic and Dean of the Faculty of Commerce at Al-Azhar University, said that the COMESA organization means freedom of trade between the countries of Northeast Africa, as the organization includes 17 African countries, noting that according to the report of the Central Agency for Public Mobilization and Statistics, the volume of intra-regional trade in the field of exports amounted to $3 billion in 2020. He added that there are some obstacles that must be resolved, which are transportation in all of its forms, in addition to banking facilities, which need to be reconsidered, explaining that COMESA is a major economic market for Egyptian products. Regarding the strategic importance of the COMESA, journalist and writer Hassan al-Rashidi said that the COMESA conference, which was held last Tuesday, under the slogan Destiny Towards Steadfastness, is receiving increasing attention from President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, adding that the political leadership contributed to strengthening cooperation with the African side, as well as Egypt's return to the peace process, the African Union. He pointed out that Egypt sees through Africa as a great source and fertile ground for cooperation and trade exchange, adding that Egypt represents 20% of its exports within the COMESA grouping. Referring to Egypt's leadership of the COMESA summit, Senator Hazem al-Gindi said that Egypt's assumption of the rotating presidency of the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa represents a new challenge for Egypt in facilitating the achievement of regional economic integration on the level of the African continent and meeting the aspirations and hopes of the member states of the gathering. El-Gandi explained that Egypt has become a meeting point between all the countries of the Brown continent, and it has a feeling that it is fully responsible for facing the challenges facing its countries within the framework of joint cooperation and many trade agreements aimed at achieving economic integration and sustainable development between Egypt and the countries of the continent.
And we're back again to Money Means Business with our guest, Dr. Nabil Abdel Mawla, and resuming our talk about the COMESA and the summit that took place and the futuristic vision of Egypt since it assumed the chairmanship of the COMESA. Well, President Fattah el-Sisi said that COVID-19 has severely impacted African countries, adding that encouraging businesses in trade, agriculture, and industrial arenas is vital for recovery. During the event, President Fattah el-Sisi assumed the chairmanship of the COMESA from Madagascar President André Rajoelina. He stressed that Egypt seeks to boost industrial integration among African countries in all fields, adding that Egypt has presented an initiative for industrial integration and production increase under the slogan Made in COMESA. The President expressed Egypt's readiness to trade expertise with the other COMESA countries, adding that great importance is given to removing obstacles to the business environment. Well, we do have a lot to talk about. Of course, the futuristic vision of Egypt and what the President talked about, the plan for the future, definitely. And of course, other issues, that precede that. So you're going to just kindly shed light on that.
Actually, we got two issues here. The first one is the preparation which Egypt has prepared for the summit itself and how they will communicate with the other COMESA members.
Yes.
And secondly, the axis on which the speech of the President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has declared, which is considered a plan for Africa and plan for the leadership presidency for Egypt during the next 5 years, from 2021 to 2025, or 4 years. The Ministry of Commerce and Trade, which is a part of the government of Egypt, of course, has reached the formulation of a comprehensive national vision for the presidency of Egypt together, COMESA, which includes a number of activities. Such activities aimed for deepening the economic integration between Egypt and the COMESA members, for enhancing the Egyptian presence in Africa. Those activities include creating a business environment for the Egyptian business community by supporting its economic cooperation with countries, COMESA facilitating his work, assembly to strengthen Egypt's regional leadership role, and work to network business community and region COMESA, increase linkages between the business community itself, which means a lot of things to be done in this concern. Whatever it needs decrease from governments, it needs decrease from government of the COMESA members itself, or even a kind of cooperation between the business communities in so many countries in such way. These activities also include opening up prospects for cooperation in priority sectors. The priority sectors like industrial integration, like tourism, like health, energy, transport, communication, and health with member states to increase joint cooperation, achieve greater economic integration, because the more healthy the countries are, the higher the growth with the economy, because in that case people will be healthier and they will be able to develop their skills and to be more productive, of course. The minister identified a number of proposals and discussed them with the relevant authorities during the summit and before the summit itself, by implementing during the COMESA and before, and even before. Ministry of Industrial Integration Initiative, which aims to deepen industrial integration between the COMESA countries by mapping the resources available to member states and linking regional value chains according to the minister himself. That means when we do mapping for the resources itself, that means we'll be able to say Egypt has such raw material and such resources. Kenya has such resources. Zimbabwe has such resources. XYZ from the COMESA members has such resources. That means there will be a definite, clear picture for the raw material at the end of the mapping itself, for having a clear vision for the business community to know exactly what to do and where to go. These proposals also include trade and customs by urging non-FTA members to join. When non-FTA members, when the free trade agreements members, the non-members, when they see that there is a real profits and mutual benefits for all the country, for all the COMESA members, definitely they will be attracted to join such a pillar for having more productivity and having greater GDP and having greater business and prosperous for all the countries. These proposals include the area of infrastructure through cooperation with the secretarial COMESA member states to provide sources of funding for transport corridors, hubs, primarily Lake Victoria Mediterranean Link project, which is considered one of the serious and important projects which has been done recently. The proposal includes the area of health through establishment of Health Cooperation Committee with the participation of COMESA health ministers, of course. It also includes tourism and culture by emphasizing the need to activate COMESA tourism and wildlife. Every COMESA member, you can find when you visit them, and I was lucky to visit all of them actually, and all over Africa, that every country, it really has a different amazing atmosphere. That means you can have a real integrated opportunity for the tourism to be accomplished during such. This is actually what has Egypt prepared before and during the summit, and what has been actually been discussed, and I think results will be amazing later on.
Definitely. But as I remember, also the African countries, including Egypt, had a booklet, or let's say, a big book, or that pinpoints the wealth of each country and the regulations and how to do business with that in order to encourage investment in their own countries. Well, I hope to really do that and integrate and do a lot of work and invest. And the country, the Black Continent needs and deserves really to rise up, since it's with the beauty it has, with the wealth it has. Well, you talked about tourism. We don't see people just going for tourism really in Africa. They say we're going to Africa from the African continent, very little do we hear about that. But you hear about going to Europe, going to the States, or going I don't know where, but not to Africa, although it has stunning beauty, stunning forests, stunning greenery, stunning everything.
That's correct. That's
Yeah,
correct,
yeah. And you know, you feel sometimes that whoever goes there does not want to say the good things so that nobody else goes. You know, from, I mean, other powers, for instance, they don't really encourage that. Actually, the Black Continent really suffered a lot of wars, suffered a lot of usurpation of the wealth, suffered a lot of usage of its own people. So it deserves right now to unite and do something with each other in order to rise up, and together we're strong, definitely.
That's exactly the plan of Egypt. When President El-Sisi has taken over the presidency of COMESA members during 2021 to 2025, this is exactly what's going. If we've been through what has been in the speech itself, we can consider it as an integrated plan for unifying Africa, for unifying COMESA members at least, and then to attract much more non-FTA members for joining the COMESA, and then to be a whole FTA Africa for the prospects of their countries. If we've been through the axis itself, which we can consider as a plan, a real plan, which I hope that it will be implemented and
Despite
achieved.
all the challenges, definitely the challenges.
There are real challenges.
Yes.
It always talk about what you mentioned right now.
Exactly. Unity.
That's correct. There are actually 6 axes which would be considered, and which has been considered in the speech of President El-Sisi. We'll go through it right now. The first one is for regional trade integration and the removal of customs barriers.
Exactly.
This is
the main things that we talk about.
yeah, right,
Definitely.
right. Because
And this is what should be tackled, definitely.
that's correct.
Well, unfortunately, we came to the end of this episode.
That's right.
Good times fly very fast. Thank you very much for being with us. And it's always a pleasure having you. I will see you again as you know we move along, since now we have the chairmanship, to see what happened in it.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you for your audience.
And I'd like also, before going, to just talk, you know, as we talked, unity and unity and unity, together we are strong. And of course, remember what happened to the Black Continent is divide and rule, and we don't want that anymore. So together we are strong. So until we meet again, God bless Egypt, God bless Egyptians, God bless our police, our army, our white army, our president, and ادخلوا مصر إن شاء الله آمنين. Enter Egypt, God willing, safe, and quoting the Holy Bible, مبارك شعبي مصر, blessed be Egypt, my people. I'm Nabi Nazir signing off. We'll see you again next week. Goodbye for now.